Many blessings to you, beloveds. We are sending you so much love, light, and peace today and every moment. You know what? We usually start these videos with a lot of laughter before we begin. But actually, that didn't take place today. And I think it's because, well, I was so propelled to just suddenly tell Cochise, let's do a video, because I'm just really acutely aware of the intensity of the energies, collectively, and the intensity, really, right? And so I said it's definitely time to take a pause from whatever we're doing, because this is important to come and to share some light. And I was really inspired to call the video.
You were so inspired that you took me out of my room. Time to do a video!
That's right. It was just that intense. I was actually working on my book, and it was just that calling of, it's important to take the time to share the light, to inspire, to share any inspiration that can help us maintain the high vibration during this unveiling. And of course, the unveiling, those who are watching this video have an idea, of course, of what we're talking about, this great awakening, this shift that we are undeniably in the process of, and the many energies and the many emotions, feelings that arise, I like to start off by saying that amidst the intensity and the uncertainty of so many things right now, and so many different levels of impact that are being affected by this shift, that this is a wonderful time to be alive and to be a witness and a participant to this great shift. And of course, how we choose to respond to that or to react is going to make all the difference in the world as to whether we can quickly move ourselves away from the old paradigm and step firmly, of course, as I've always said, and especially in the last few videos, to step into that new paradigm, right?
Yes.
It's so important. It's so very important. And it's really hard when there is so much going on to anchor ourselves to be able to do that, right? What do we do to maintain ourselves in that high vibe amidst what needs to occur, which is this great unveiling and the collapse of many illusions, right? So that we can finally awaken to our truth and to a collective truth so that we can step into the new paradigm in that new space, right? How do we do that?
Well, I know it's a lot of things happening in the world today that it really takes us off balance. And we're riddled with the fear and the things that are going on, what we're listening to in the media. A lot of that has an effect on a lot of us. And it kind of like takes you off balance, and you're not really totally there. You're sitting there, you're just like, you're seeing everything that's going on, and you're just like, what the fuck am I doing here? What do I do? What do I do? And with the things going on in the world today, and everybody's in an uproar. Everybody's scared. Everybody's scared, and it takes away from us for what we're supposed to do. And ultimately, we all want to be happy. But we have this veil that comes over us, and everything is fear-based. And when it's fear-based, it takes us out of equilibrium where, we sit there and we question ourselves. What am I going to do? What do I do? And we concentrate too much on what's happening in the world. And we really don't actually take the time out and take a step back and be the observer
Mm-hmm.
and see what's going on inside. Because the truth is, the outside is the outside. It's how you portray things, how you want to live your life. Do you want to live in fear, or do you want to live in joy?
Mm-hmm.
And you put out a beautiful video with Miriam Silva, and it explains, about joy. And a lot of people forget of what that's like, because we're living in this world, and it's just like, well, how do we be happy when all this shit is going on?
Right.
I hate to curse, but this is how I feel.
True.
You know?
And so as we build, and that's such a great share, Cochise, and what do we do with that? And I think the first answer to maintaining a high vibe is being mindful of what we engage in, which is what you're saying, the media, and it's just not news media, it's social media. Actually social media more than any other outlet right now. Be mindful of what you engage in, and to recognize that whatever we partake in, that we're not only partaking in vocals, in an opinion, but that we're engaging energetically, and that's important to remember, because if we engage, then we're bringing that element of whatever is on the opposing side into our field, because in order to have a dialogue, we need to sort of meet vibrations, even though we think we may not be in having a different opinion, we're still engaging, right? So being mindful of what you engage in is definitely something that you need to be mindful of. And you brought something up, like, what do we do? Obviously these shifts are affecting many people in so many different ways, that at times I'm sure it's very hard to say, but okay, you know what, I'm gonna disengage from the external, and I'm just gonna vibrate on joy. But
Yes.
that's easier said than done, and it's so very understandable when some of these changes, as the unveiling continues, are directly impacting people's lives, people's livelihood, people's families. This is like a direct hit to the very foundation for many that sustain,
Yes.
the structure of family, of living, of happiness, of stability. So what do we do? What we should not do is still not engage. And what you said, Cochise, again, is where can we go? And we could go inward. This great unveiling is about truth, and it's about finding the illusion, seeing the illusion of what we've all collectively believed over eons, over lifetimes, and unveiling a new truth. And within that new truth is finding our sacred selves, finding our empowerment, finding that our choices have great power, and that we're celestial beings, and that we have forgotten that. And the great unveiling, the challenges, the fear, the everything is really supposed to trigger us, almost like from that feeling of complete entrapment, to wake up and to realize that there has to be another way, there has to be another choice. And there is. And part of that choice is not engaging in that matrix of illusion, of this, of battle, of chaos, of control, of whatever, and going inwardly, as you said, to get the guidance, the clarity, and direction to finding out, where is that? How do I get to that other place?
I think a lot of people get off balance because when they engage with the situation, it affects them emotionally.
Yes,
Where
absolutely.
a lot of feelings come up of sadness, anger, fear, and these emotions are taking you away from what you truly are.
Yes.
And
Absolutely, yes. And I wrote a little list. I don't usually do that, but I wrote a couple of pointers as we were preparing, because I just, like I said, I felt the intensity of coming, and that was one of the things I wrote.
You wrote
Speaking our truth. Yeah.
You
Not
actually wrote
engaging.
something?
Yeah, I know. I never do. I never
You never do that.
I know. But these were, as I was thinking about how do we keep that vibration high amidst this unveiling and this great shift, I just really, some things just popped up. And you're talking about, speaking the truth, emotions, right?
Yes.
And what I want to share about that is, it is a great unveiling. So there can't be a paradox, but what it really should be is a balance. And it's in reference to, yes, being able to speak our truth, because it is a time of unveiling, of expression, of declaring ourselves. But the demeanor in which we do that, and the stance that we take, is going to make all the difference in the world. And if you choose to speak your truth through this process of unveiling because it's something that you're being called to do, then so many blessings, because it is freedom, it is freeing. However, if you feel that in doing so you're setting yourself up to have an expectation that people should respond a certain way to your expression, then that opens the door for confrontation.
We were talking about that before. It's all in when engaging with people. It's the delivery.
Yes.
The delivery when you actually engage with somebody. It's how you deliver the message. I mean, how do you want to deliver it? Do you want to deliver it with anger, fear, or do you want to deliver it with love?
Exactly. And there it is perhaps we feel in our frustration and our desperation that we need to take a stance and, and rebuttal what is going on. But we need to be mindful that rebuttaling again brings us to a vibration. We have to set the channel for that. And yes, we may feel angry, but we're also changing our vibration.
Yes.
And so perhaps we may want to share or write a letter, a pardon letter, or write in our journals if we are feeling those emotions, those high, intense emotions, to release them rather than, taking a social media stance where you leave yourself vulnerable to opposition that then is going to place you in a place of having to confront that.
Yes.
Or to, the opinions, the justification for you to justify that you feel this way. And so it's not to say that we shouldn't have the freedom, but again, there's a very fine line between just freedom of expression, that you don't care whether someone agrees with you, that you're not looking for an opinion, that you're not looking to change someone or others, or point the finger, but simply because you feel like it is important for you to share your truth. Wonderful. And being able to move on from that.
Yes.
But I've become very aware, very observant of the fact that even many ascended ones, have compromised themselves because of the expression. And again, I'm not saying that we shouldn't express ourselves. I'm saying that then the rebuttal of that, we need to be prepared for that and not react. Because in reacting, then we are going to lose our equilibrium. Actually, we lose more than our equilibrium. We lose the very purpose of what the initial endeavor of making a statement, because now you're out of alignment. You're not bringing your point across if you have to engage in separation. And this unveiling is not about separation. No matter what is going on in the external place, this is the greatest opportunity, the opportunity for us to learn how to be masters of observation. Because many things will unveil, many things must come to pass in order for the collapse. And again, also in order for people to be so I'm looking for the perfect word. So I don't want to say disgusted, but so yeah, so limited by the situations and the circumstances and the everything, that it's just like a pop of there has got to be another way.
Yes.
You know. Yeah.
I feel that when we put our attention to what's going on around us, we sometimes get engulfed in it. We find ourselves losing ourselves. I find if we put our attention elsewhere of what we want, or a place of joy, not taking your attention off what's going on in the world, being aware of what's going on, but taking your attention off of that, being aware of it, but taking your attention off of that, and placing your attention and intention into something else.
Absolutely.
And something greater.
Yes. Are you reading my list?
No.
I know you're not. But of course, and there's, so again, as we're building on the theme of I'll share, which is what do we do? What can we do to raise that vibe amidst this unveiling? And absolutely, like where are we focusing our attention? And our attention is more than attention, it's energy. And in this great unveiling, where we know that there's a new paradigm in place already, whether we realize or believe that, it is definitely in place vibrationally. If you were making an investment, I feel like I may have said this in the last share, last video, and you wanted to see a positive return on that investment, then where would you invest it? On something that's going down or something that's going up, right?
Yeah.
And that's literal, this old paradigm is quickly going downward as it collapses. And this new paradigm of the new earth is in a very beautiful high vibration space, and looking for cultivators and pioneers to join it, to continue to build it upward in vibration. And so if we just took a step back to realize that, how is creation, what is manifestation on the individual level, right? And that it is our intentions, our thoughts, where our, focus is, then we wouldn't want to invest anything in a collapsing downward spiral investment. We'd want to go here, right? And so absolutely, where are we in our focus and our attention? And again, this is mastery at its best, because we are surrounded, we are bombarded, and our everyday lives, which, by the way, there happens to be a beautiful channel called Our Everyday Lives, which I absolutely love, Michael, is being impacted by this on a daily basis. So how do we unravel ourselves from that, pull, as our lives, as we knew them, are falling apart? And what we need is change. This is about shifting, which is change. As much as we may not like to hear it, but all of this is also calling us to recreate our lives as we knew it. Because we will not return to what we knew before this unveiling began. It just cannot return back to that.
I think about it like you go to that higher place, and would you really want to return?
Well,
no, I mean,
right,
I wouldn't want to come back,
And that's beautiful, right, that you can say that. But for people who didn't have a purpose, who didn't have, who allow the collective consciousness dictate, and who don't partake consciously in creation, in desires and intentions and manifestation, then that's all they know was what the collective was creating. And so the thought of, I need to create something, is something that's foreign to many. Perhaps not anyone viewing this video, because you have ascension blessings. But the little ones who have not yet awoken to that reality that they're creating, that they have the ability to create, they want to go back to normal.
Yeah.
What normal was.
We had a lot of conversations about this, and you gave perfect examples of where you want to be. And I thought it was beautiful because this is exactly what we're talking about. When you're at a higher place, and when your awareness is higher than most of what's going on, it's so easy for a lot of people to fall back, to go back into that collective, that matrix, as you call it. And like I said, when you're vibrating at a certain place, like I was saying, why would you want to go back? The only way you're going to be going back or taken back is through yourself. Yourself is going to take you back there. But what we were talking about the other night, you want to keep rising. And once you keep rising, just keep going. I mean, yes, and you're going to use your example to help others, which I thought was beautiful. And just to keep going. And, if somebody wants to find that path, then they'll see that. And they'll see that through everyone that wants to actually create a better life for them, create a better future, life, where they're at. And by doing that, if every individual does that, it actually shows an example.
Yes.
And it would actually, catch the attention of people who are not there. And they'll say, wow, I would like to be there.
Right. And absolutely. And, for many of the light workers, the beautiful teachers, the avatars that are out there, there's so many that are being so proactive. And we send so much blessings and love to all those, especially on, there's many on YouTube. That's exactly what the field that they're holding, which is they're at that place vibrationally, they're at that place experiencing the new paradigm, and they're inviting others by example to look, there is this other place,
Yes.
and you're able to come over, and all the god food or the goddess food that they put out is steps by which we can get there. And of course, Cochise and I are here attempting or inspiring to do the same, which is to be an example. We are in that new paradigm vibrationally, and we live it. We just came back about a week ago from a beautiful cruise, and needless to say, it did come with challenges because we have chosen not to be vaccinated, and that posed a great compromise, for the cruise itself, being able to even be part of it. But anyway, we were, and we weren't aware until the day before the cruise that, they put all of these clauses and limitations on what we could engage in during the cruise. Luckily, it was only 4 days. But, we really were able to experience the exclusion of, and the judgment of, you are not vaccinated, so you cannot partake in this, that, and the other. And for those who are familiar with cruises, there's a lot of things, fun things to do on a cruise. And we were limited, actually excluded from not being able to do
things.
many of those things. And yeah, it was, disappointing. However, we chose to not be limited by these, by what's going on in the world. We knew that there would be a possibility, but we made the best of it, and we had an amazing time.
We had an amazing time because we actually didn't get caught up in saying, okay, this is what it is, and we didn't look at it as, oh, shit, can you believe this?
Right.
No, we took a different route, and we went in another direction. Well, you know what? We can do this, and it was beautiful.
It was.
It was beautiful because
was.
even by doing that, I had the most amazing time.
Mm-hmm.
I had the most amazing time with you.
Yes.
I love you so much. You know
I love you.
But it was just. It was beautiful, and what happened during the cruise, even though we were segregated, we were separated from a lot of people. A lot of people actually, and I saw a lot of people, in the same situation and everything like that. But we chose to be happy.
Yes.
And it was by
Absolutely.
choice. It was a choice that we made. Instead of sitting there and dwelling of what we couldn't have, it's what we created on the ship.
Yes.
What we created on that particular trip was beautiful because we created it and it became a beautiful thing.
It did, and many people approached us to just tell us, the vibration that we were exuding and how, beautiful we were, and we absolutely love that because we get that a lot wherever we are, wherever we go, and that's part of, what can we do amidst this, unveiling and universal earthly shift that we're going, is be your vibe, in spite of what's going on, because it's contagious and you have no idea the power that it has in transforming other people, and them just being witnessing.
Can I give that one example?
Yeah, of course.
We were sitting in an elevator, and we were
Standing
going up
in
and
an
down.
elevator.
We were standing in an elevator. We weren't doing anything else. Believe me, we weren't doing anything else. But we actually felt close. We started hugging, and we kissed and everything like that. And we didn't realize the doors opened up. And when the doors opened up, there was a bunch of people going, "Whoa, what the hell? What's going on?" But the thing is, with that, a lot of them actually came onto the elevator and they were smiling. They were smiling.
They were, and they
were
actually applauded.
Yeah.
After making all the sounds of ooh, they actually started to applaud. I'm not sure if you realized that, but
Yeah.
they started to applaud, and it was such an amazing feeling of that we touched them, that we inspired them by just being expressive.
Yeah, to each other.
To each other.
I don't think a lot of people see love,
Yeah.
And when they saw that, they had such, the energy in the elevator actually changed.
Yes.
And, because there was a lot of people with the long,
Long
faces
faces,
and everything. Right. And once they saw something like that, and they just felt like, wow,
Yes.
it is possible.
Yes,
to be
absolutely.
happy.
Yes. And so this is one way that you can, of course, keep that high vibe is, they can take away or limit us to a lot of things, but they can't take away your energy of expression of love, the very essence of who you are, of what you carry in your heart center. No one can take that away from you, beloveds. And you can express that, and in doing so, not only nurture and keep yourself elevated in that high vibration, but also, as we shared, inspire others through your example.
Yes.
And trigger others to recognize that they too have the ability to vibrate high on that love center in spite of whatever is going on. And by the way, that is the energy that is going to qualify us to enter energetically into that new paradigm. Once we're able to move beyond the separation, the hatred, the this, the that, whatever, the fear, and start to really vibrate on that heart center of, I'm a sovereign being. We are in a new paradigm. I choose to move away from the illusion of what's collapsing, and I really want to invest all of my energy, all of my focus on the newness. Mm-hmm. Then you're going to start really, accelerating in that growth. I just kind of want to take a step back and say that, not a step back, but just kind of pause there and say, so as we look at where this the fragmentations of this collapse are, what is it asking for us besides what we've shared is change, and that's a big one, and that's a hard one, because again, change is not something that most of us are comfortable. Change is something that not only affects us, but our livelihood, our stability, our families, our everything. But this is about change. This is about newness. And so we need to be able to look at what areas, whether it's work. I've seen so many of my students, oh my goodness, have made these incredible leaps of walking away, or, just, walking away from their jobs for various reasons, and just taking that leap of faith and stepping into their creativity, moving into more subdued areas. That's another one. And, we're not sitting here, telling you what to do. No. But I've mentioned it in other videos. It's worthy of mentioning again. About 4 years ago, I was guided by the Mother Divine to write a book called Goddess Mother Speaks. And there was a sequel to that on the onset of the pandemic a little over a year ago, which is The Dialogue Continues. And I got to tell you, those channelings from the Mother Divine are they were prophetic. And that everything that she describes about how we should prepare for the future, and those books were written, like I said, 4 years ago and a year and a half ago, are literally what we're experiencing today. And one of the things that really is highlighted in my consciousness about that was her guidance for us to move to higher grounds, meaning away from, the metropolitan areas where, there's a lot of, because they're metropolitan areas, there's a lot of noise, and there's a lot of vibration, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of indifferences and all of that. So whatever level of change is in your peripheral that you've perhaps hesitated or resisted, this may very well be the time that is positioning you to take that leap of faith for your highest well-being, for your shift, for your new manifestation into the new creation, to execute that change. And there's a promise, and of course it's scary when we make these changes, but there's a promise that when you have the courage to remove yourself from the old paradigm and to leap into the new paradigm, that doors that you cannot see right now will be opened for you. People, places, and things, situations, circumstances will align themselves to support you.
Yes.
Right? And those endeavors, of course, Cochise and I have shared our own experience with that a little under a year ago. The great undertaking that we took coming out here to Florida, him retiring before, just before his time, me leaving everything behind in New York to come out here, and the incredible pathway that has been opened for us.
Yes.
On so many beautiful purposes, levels of joy, of fulfillment, because we had the courage to do that. And so, and creating, stepping into your creative side. Creation is not only therapeutic, it is the fuel of the soul, right? It actually opens doorways for direction into a new pathway. So if you find yourself, whether it's experiencing anxiety, or if you're at home at the present time, step into creativity, and do not say that you do not possess it. Possess it. I'm not gonna, that you
possess
don't have it, because there is no such thing. If you are in existence, then there is a soul within you, and that soul is creative, is a creator. And so stepping into that creative side of you may very well be opening a new vocation for you. I mean, Bobby was a welder, and now these days he is, what are you doing? Creating beautiful earrings for me. Absolutely beautiful. Uh, Doing candles and uh, oil sprays, right?
Yeah, if the boys can see me now.
Stepping into, well, you're getting in touch with that creative side, right? And so, absolutely, these are the things that we can do, and answer that call. Finally, watch our responses, response to the universe, response to the shift, response to the new paradigm. And we do that through the heart center, through the new heart center, which is the heart of the soul. As we ascend into the new paradigm, we're no longer going to be pulsating from the physical heart, but more so from the soul, the heart of the soul. I'm working on what I believe will be the greatest book that I write. I've written 18, and this book, I believe, will have a great contribution to the readers who wish to have a greater vision of what the new paradigm is. I'm really looking forward to completing that. It's been challenging to put it into motion, but I am working on it, and it will speak about this new heart center of the soul, as well as the new Atlantis. It will speak about the Sophia rising, and how all of these components come together into this new paradigm, But remember, responding to all this beauty that is here amidst what is going on, that needs to go on in this unveiling, and reminding yourself that reacting is surely not a choice, because a reaction is only going to swallow you into the abyss of an old paradigm, and just completely take you out of equilibrium, right? Yes. We look forward and coming back again and again. Bobby and I struggle with coming to do videos, only because, we are so involved in mission work, and just doing our own projects. But I really hope that we can come back, because I feel the importance. And I mentioned earlier, there's so many beautiful souls out there doing this beautiful work. Many blessings to all of those. You can become a part of that if you feel, calling to have a message. Don't be afraid, and don't have an expectations of the numbers of, your YouTube channel, or, the posts that you make in social media. Have a voice, be a part of it, be an inspiration, be an example, Of course, we like to ask you, and we want to celebrate Michael of Our Everyday Lives. What a beautiful messenger he is. And I want to steal a line from him. He always asks his viewers, if this video has spoken to you, share it with at least one other person. And I think that that's incredible. We would like to really ask you to share this video, if it's spoken to you, with at least one other person. And place a comment or a like. Don't watch the video without liking it, because you're really helping us collectively, all of us, to be able to reach those who are desperately looking for some kind of guidance, for some kind of direction. And there are so many right now who are in a place of uncertainty. And we want to be found. We want the message to be heard. So we really appreciate if you can share it, if it resonates with you, leave us a comment and tell us what you are doing to raise your vibration amidst this great unveiling. And remember that this is not doomsday, although it may feel that way. It is a great apocalypse, but remember that the word apocalypse is only defined as a great unveiling of truth. and that is what is occurring. Keep your vibration high. Yes. And I'd like to end, of course, by asking you if you want to share something. But I'd like to also offer an invocation. And I've done those in the past in a couple of videos. It is something very sacred. Invocation is something very sacred that is practiced in particular in shamanism. Taught all of my students in the shamanic apprenticeships to do invocations, and I just want to take a moment to share what it represents and to really encourage you to practice at home. Invocation is a movement of energy. You know, in shamanism, after we receive nurturing, of teaching from the Mother Earth, an offering, we offer an invocation through music and movement as a way to say thank you, and also as a way to recognize that we have received a calibration and, an awakening, an energetic gift. And so by moving that through invocation, we're actually raising the vibration through our structure, through our chakras, and moving it up to the cosmos. And at one point through the invocation, you are asked to, now that you're full, having raised that vibration, now you can send it out to the world. And that's where the invocations really become incredible, because you're giving a gift. And really, we're also recognizing that in the highest truth, we're all one. Mm-hmm. There is not you and I. And so if I'm experiencing something, then I can share that experience with you in the oneness of what we are, of who we are. And so it's a really beautiful thing. Some people get a little funky with it because there's movement with it. I'm going to stay sitting down today doing the invocation. But this is something that you could do at home. And I can promise you, if you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling, not at ease, or if you're feeling invigorated, inspired, and you really want to share that energy out, or you're feeling helpless that there's nothing that you could do, well, guess what? There is. In offering an invocation, we offer one of the greatest gifts that we can, besides the actual energy of love, which is I'm sending this vibe out, and anyone and everyone who needs it is going to receive it. Yes? And so we hope that this share was meaningful, inspirational, uplifting to you. Thank you for joining me, my love.
Oh, thank you.
I love you. And we're going to play music. And again, you could join me along. Just go into that space, close your eyes, or if you want to look at me and join me alongside. But I really invite you to find a piece of music that you really enjoy. I am going to be playing In Search of Meaning by Kevin Wood. It is a great invocation song. But you can find your own to just do what you got to do. Yes?
Yes.
I love you, baby.
Love you.
Allow yourself to use your breath to connect to the center of the earth, and allow that energy to just, with your breath, to just rise through the center of your beingness. Chakras. Use your breath to just allow yourself to reach out into the cosmos. And allow yourself to just fall into the music. Bringing the energy from the earth. Reaching higher and higher. Use your breath as you raise the energy from the earth through your center, through your chakras, out of your body, above to the higher realms, recognizing that it's all one perfect stream of energy. Allow yourself to just feel the rhythm of the music. Allow it to just move the vibration. Allowing yourself to just visualize the stars, the galaxies. Use your breath. And by this time, there is no difference between the earth realm, your vessel, and the cosmos. By this time, you're so full of energy that you start to visualize where you can send this energy, who may need it, what cause, obviously the world, the earth. Allow yourself to take a moment to have that vision here, and of course to have that energy here in the heart center, knowing that your hands are the vehicle that can actually send it out. And with that vision in place, just begin to just move your hands, knowing that with each movement, you are just sending that energy out exactly to where it needs to go. And use your body and your energy from the heart to just really send it out. Now that you've sent it out, bring it back to yourself to complete the oneness. And by now you should feel so full of love, having filled yourself with earth energy, having sent it out to the universe and bringing it back to yourself. Many blessings.